President Trump facing new scrutiny this morning over his handling of the so-called Jeffrey Epstein files. The Wall Street Journal, citing senior administration officials, reports that the president's name appears multiple times in the DOJ's unreleased files. The Journal also reporting Attorney General Pam Bondi briefed the president in May about those findings, telling him that his name was mentioned in the files, along with many other high-profile figures. Neither the White House nor the Justice Department have publicly confirmed that the president was briefed about his name. But a DOJ official tells NBC News a mention of anyone would not necessarily suggest wrongdoing. The Attorney General, writing in a statement, nothing in the files warranted further investigation or prosecution, adding, as part of our routine briefing, we made the president aware of the findings. Last week, the president was asked what Bondi told him about the files.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the files?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
Meanwhile, a House committee voted to issue subpoenas to the DOJ and 10 prominent political figures for information on Epstein. The committee also setting an August 11th date to depose Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving a 20-year sentence. Some Republicans pressuring the president to release more information.
Release the damn files.
The White House appears to be trying to shift the focus away from Epstein.
Tulsi, thank you for being here.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard attempting to rewrite the history of Russia's 2016 election interference, accusing former President Obama, without evidence, of manipulating intelligence. Gabbard releasing an 8-year-old House Republican report that took issue with the intelligence community's finding that Russia tried to help Trump win in 2016. A bipartisan Senate report released in 2020 under then Intel Committee Chairman Marco Rubio concluded Russia did interfere to help boost Trump.
So help us from a 50,000-foot level explain, what do you now have that refutes those two?
Sure. My job, again, as I said when I came into this role, was to make sure that we are telling the truth to the American people.
Now, later today, DOJ officials are expected to hold their first meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell and her legal team, according to two sources familiar with the planning, as the administration looks for ways to make more information about this case public. But that push for information hit a roadblock in Florida yesterday, where a federal judge rejected the department's bid to make some secret grand jury transcripts of an earlier Epstein investigation public. Two other requests for grand jury records are still pending in front of judges in New York. Laura?
All right, Garrett, Haake starting us off this morning. Thank you.
Right now, we want to bring in Kristen Welker, of course, the moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good morning.
Hey, Laura and Peter, good morning to both of you.
Kristen, as you know well, President Trump is no stranger to scandal. There have been a series of them since his first run for office back in 2015 into 2016. But this one is sticking to him unlike any of the others before it. Why is this? Why specifically with the MAGA base does the Epstein story stick?
Well, Peter, it's a great question. Look, President Trump campaigned on a promise to release the Epstein files and even appointed people to high levels of the administration who were similarly outspoken on this issue. It even became a big issue for many of the podcasters and MAGA personalities who've gained a lot of influence with the base. Now, the administration had originally released a batch of Epstein documents to leaders of the MAGA movement. You might remember that. But all of that information had mostly been made public already. That may have backfired. Republican Representative Thomas Massie, who's not afraid to criticize the president, called this, quote, symbolic, saying it's not going to go away. Look, here's the bottom line, guys, to really look ahead to. Will this resonate with voters once lawmakers are at home and they start holding town halls? That's when we'll really know just how much this may or may not have traction all across the country.
It'd be surprising if this was a voting issue, given everything else going on in the world and the country right now. But, Kristen, how does, in the short term, the White House navigate their way out of this? They don't want this to still be dominating headlines.
They don't, Laura, and it's a notable moment for that reason as well. Usually we see President Trump encourage his top aides to be out on TV, social media, no matter what the crisis. But in this case, top officials within the White House are meeting this moment with more restraint so far. This is the first time we've really seen the Trump base break with the president. Just a few days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, said, quote, dangling bits of red meat no longer satisfies. So it'll be key to watch how the administration's next steps are received. and whether this division and discontent will last. Now, notably, according to a recent Quinnipiac poll, 40% of Republicans approve of Mr. Trump's handling of the release of the files, and more than a third of them disapprove. So those are numbers to watch as well, guys.
Yeah, hard to see any other issue where that many Republicans disagree with the president's handling or disapprove of the president's handling of any topic. Kristen, we appreciate it. Of course, you'll have much more for us Sunday on Meet the Press.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.